What's up, guys? I'm here with Hanko Chow. He just top 8 Montreal Regionals. What deck were you playing today?
I was playing Igknight, Utopia, FTK.
Oh, God.
Although I never really FTK'd people that often except for the first 2 rounds, I guess. I don't know. But there's this huge combo that I discovered within the last 2 weeks, and I was going to play this deck, and then I decided not to, and I was going to play side frames or some crap, and it wasn't going to work out either. So I went back to this and it was like, you know what, I'm going to YOLO, and it actually worked out. I got 7th place. It's hilarious how well this deck worked out actually. You go first and you win. So I was literally just telling people it's a dice roll format, and I'm going to explain why. So in a dice roll format, you want to play a combo which literally makes your opponent not be able to play the game. So this combo is amazing. So I'm going to tell you, this is the monster lineup that you really need to focus on, which are the 4 kinds of Igknights, the 2 level 4s and 2 level 6s. The combo is as long as you have 4 Igknights, and it could be any combination of these 4 Igknights. I'm going to just shuffle this. Usually it's any combination. There we go. Like I have 2 6s and 2 4s. Or sorry, 3 6s and 2 4s. I can just use 2 6s, pop to get the 4. And then use the 2 4s to pop and get the other scale. And then as long as I have 2 4s and 2 6s, the combo will go. Where you get them out to the board, and then you make Beatrice with the 2 level 6s. You detach to dump the Rank Up Magic Argent Chaos Force to the graveyard. Then you put Gaia Charger on top, and then Argent Chaos Force will trigger, add it to your hand, overlay the 2 Paladins for Utopia. And this combo was literally found in, well, it wasn't probably found, but I had found it in the Dark Synchro deck that Robbie Cole uploaded, and I was like, that's not, it's not gonna be really consistent in Dark Synchro. There's other decks that are way more consistent. So yeah, after you make all this, you make Prime, and then you literally are sitting on a 3K Zexa and Gaia Charger. But this combo, you just need 2 6s and 2 4s, and I'm thinking Igknights is the best deck to perform that consistently. And after 2 weeks of playtesting, this deck was amazingly consistent going first. As long as you open 3 to 4 Igknights, you're ready to go. So in this deck, I wanted to emphasize mostly on the combo pieces. I looked up the history of this deck, and somebody else topped some regional with he got 13th place or something with this kind of Igknights, but he had his ratios are really janky. He had it perform house for some reason, and he played 3 Exchange Change Tactics, and that card is good, but it's not really needed in the combo because it's not only just win more if you read the card, but Igknights don't really have any sort of play before the pendulum summon, or realistically you don't want to you're not looking for anything with these Exchange Tactics. So here, let me just go on to other things I want to talk about. So the 3, 6, 9, 12 Igknights that we talked about. Then we have 3 Summoner's Arts, 2 Painful Decisions, 1 Rhoda because it's at 1, and 2 Ignition Phoenix. I was actually doing 3 Painful Decision earlier, but then along the lines of playtesting, I found that if I actually open up or draw 2 of these, and one of them is instantly dead, so it's rather not very good to draw 2 of them. And Ignition Phoenix is so good because it's almost it's like a Sky Iris, but it's actually not once per turn on the effect. So if you open up multiple copies of them, you can just overlap on top of them and then you just use the effect again. So it's pretty good, but it only searches from deck. But I mean, it's just another Igknight in your hand, basically. So we have how many of them? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 Igknight. That's half the deck already. So you should be having a pretty good consistency with half the deck.
Pretty consistent?
Yeah. So the 2 combo pieces that you have to play 2 because of how you play Pot of Desires. So that way, it's an insurance that you wouldn't actually banish. Although, unluckily for me, one of the games that I lost was because I desired and I banished both of them. And I'm like, this never happened to me in playtesting, but apparently it happens. So yeah, 3 Pot of Desires, 1 Upstart. These are just draw power cards along with Royal Magical Library, but I want to explain her role in this. And Instant Fusion is just another card it's like a MST, it's a level 4, it's sorry, no, it's not MST, it's Diamond Direwolf, which is removal, and then it's a level 4, and it's also a combo piece to make the Zexa combo. So I really wanted to play 3 Instant Fusion, although I never liked drawing 2 copies of it, so I kept signing 1 out or whatever, but it's really important to play this card because it's just a combo piece. So other cards are, let's just call them like supporting combo pieces because they support the combo of opening up the multiple Igknights to do the Zexa combo, which is Raw Magical Library because opening up a searching spell and 2 Igknights instantly gets you to like 4 Igknights, and that's when you can get your resources going for follow-up plays. And not only that, but Raw Magical Library is a level 4, so you can use it for the Utopia material. So it's like I felt like it was important to play this. I was considering maining Denko Zexa just so I have a decent play to go playing second in game 1. Like I guess I didn't want to auto lose to a dice roll, but at the same time it's just like I wanted to prioritize on combo rather than like an adaptation. So the next card I want to talk about was Destiny Hero Malicious, which was found in the Dark Synchro deck because it's not only just a level 6, but you can with 2 Igknights, level 6 Igknights, and Malicious, you can actually use the Malicious and the Igknight to make Beatrice detach the Malicious to dump Zexal, or not dump Zexal, but dump the rank up, and then Gaia Charger on top of it, and then you get the spell back, and then you can Malicious into this and use
Photon Strike.
Utopia Beyond,
Even better.
And discard it for the Zexal. So that way you have it's 3k at the start, but then you detach so it goes to 2k. It's not the strongest, but it's still another way to make S0. So that's why like Malicious is really good. But not only that, but it pushes on with the rank 6 like aggression plays of like Constellar, Ptolemaeus, or not Ptolemaeus, like the M7.
M7.
Yeah. So along with that, we have 1 Armageddon Knight because it's a level 4. And when I summon it, it dumps Malicious, so it becomes like a 4 and a 6 on the board. So it was helping with the combo, but I would only want to see one of it. Like, and I probably would side it out every now and then too. And the 1 Summoner Monk, because it's treated as a 4 for Royal Magical Library and a 2nd Armageddon Knight at the same time. And it helps stitch bad spell cards in my hand. So that's all the cards are supporting with the combo, like either draw power or just maintaining like, what's it called, like just being a combo piece, I guess. And then the last 3 cards I play was Vanity's Emptiness because it's a win condition. Like every deck plays it and you win by flipping this card if they don't have Twin Twister. And then there's Exchange Tactics, which apparently I had to play, but
Shout out to Karim.
No, you know what? Kareem and I talked about this deck. He was playing Gadgets or some shit, and I told him about this deck, and then he's like, "No, you gotta play more copies of this." And I'm like, "This card sucks. This card literally." When I was writing up my deck list, like typing it out, I was like, "Why am I at 39? What's the one card I forgot? Oh yeah, this card. I literally hate this card because it's a win more. It's like the only time it's useful is when I like have a level 4 and I'll be like instant fusion, get out to level 4. I'll make Utopia like S Prime and then Lightning just so I can draw 3 cards to like make plays. But like other than that, I never want to see this card. And not only that, but there's no point to running multiple copies of this card because you can only have one anyway. So like why this card is. There's no argument to go against me on saying why you need to play more than one. And then the last card is Kieran. This was Solemn Warning, Solemn Scolding. It was going to be Warrior Returning Alive. It was going to be the 3rd field spell. It was going to be Tyrant Throws. And I just kept switching this one card. And I was like, what is the best card to put as this last slot to make sure this combo works? And Kieran is level 6, so it's a combo piece for the combo, and is a low scale, and it's just it's kind of like a win con and BA matchup. So I chose this one over Tyrant Throws. I was playing Tyrant Throws a lot because it was a win condition itself, but just it conflicted with the other combos because you flip it to sacrifice 2 monsters and it just wasn't working out. But yeah, that's the main deck, which is really strong. I played this for like the last 2 weeks, and I think it was like 95% consistent, just from what I think of it. Although I did brick once, like today. I lost to Max C into Flying C. I lose to dice rolls because I knew this deck was going to do that anyway. And I lose to traps. If they have any sort of out, I lose. They have like Typhoon. Okay, sorry, Typhoon doesn't really stop it unless you time it right. Ghost Ogre stops this deck, Veiler stops this deck, but nobody plays Veiler, except for Blue Eyes, but I did play Blue Eyes, I think. Or no, I didn't. No, I was playtesting. But yeah, just any sort of out makes this deck like lose. But sadly that didn't really happen, except I did lose dice rolls. So let's go to extra deck. We have the main combo pieces, which is Beatrice, Gaia Charger. I played 2 Utopias. I played the C39 and the S39. I rather actually just played 2 S39s because 2510 is actually really relevant to beat over Dante in defense points because that's 2510. It's actually really relevant. Because I could get a second one, I just did this and said it didn't really change too much, but it's just in my mind like it was relevant. We have 2 S-Zeros because I can. If I get rid of one, I make another one on the following turn, and it's just like, yeah, they lose or whatever. Lightning, obviously. Beyond for the other combo, and not only that, but Beyond and Lightning creates an OTK. If they have like 2 attack mode monsters and no defense, you Beyond and then you Lightning, you go 5 grand and then 3 grand. That's 8 grand of damage. So yeah, and then we got. Oh yeah, see ya. I don't. Yeah. We got Constellar Ptolemy M7. I make this a lot because it not only recycles but it also bounces, so it's removal. So it's really good. We have Diamond Direwolf because it makes Instant Fusion and Norden into like removal. And then we have Gagaga Samurai, which is the... Okay, so before we talk about Samurai, I say, yeah, Norden's in this extra deck and Dark Flare Dragon because that's like the second time or the first time we use Instant Fusion because I don't want to waste my Norden. I just want to get to a level 4. And I don't own the Commando Wizard or whatever that other thing because it avoids bottomless, but it was irrelevant. But this Gaga Samurai was my last slot, and I couldn't think of like other cards to play. Like I could, but it was just that I chose Gaga Samurai overall because it was basically another Utopia in terms of protecting the S-Zero from being attacked. And not only that, but it was a 1 card that creates 3,800 damage from Instant Fusion, or 2 level 4s to create 3,800 damage. And like the other options I was gonna choose was like Virgil, just in case I actually leave my Beatrice up, so it would become like if they kill it, then I get a level 6 Virgil. It's a material, or I draw a card. And the other card I was gonna play was Ragaminiad, but then I never actually made Ragaminiad. So even though it's a win condition on its own, right? So I actually did use Samurai a couple times today too, and it won me a couple games. So good thing I played that. Now we go on to the sideboard, which this deck auto wins going first. So with that mindset, you don't actually need to play any cards to side going first because the deck wins going first. There's literally like unless my opponent opens Max C into Flying Sea, then I mean, what do I do, right? Main Chalice and then hope I draw them. So that's just a timer. All right. This is a joke. Alright, so in the sideboard, we obviously have to play Denko Rekka. Denko Sekka wins any deck that plays stupid back row, and I make them irrelevant. Alright. 3 Twin Twister, because it's the second card that like everybody thinks of that gets rid of back row and anti-spell. And speaking of anti-spell, I was so afraid of losing the anti-spell, I actually sided Trap Eater, and I never really, I never had the read to think like, hey, he might side Trap Eater, or side anti-spell, so I should side this in. I never use it, so whatever, it was just insurance. I played the bridge between spell and trap removal, or not removal, like this is Denko, but like this is like spell and trap hate and monster hate I'm about to show you, and Archfiend Eccentric is like a balance between both worlds. And then I don't want to see more than one of this. I usually just side a Kirin for it because it's also a combo piece and it's removal. And so along with that, we got Raigeki, 2 Dark Holes. I was considering like last minute like Swords Concealing Light over this because I did face Magic Specters, like oh my gosh, and I did lose to them. But you know what? It didn't really matter in the end. It was still fine. And the last card was 3 Santa Claus for the Blue Eyes matchup. So that way I have like if these were Swords Concealing Light, I would have been even more helpful. But like you sign all this in just so that way when they get a Spirit Dragon, it actually stops me from pendulum summoning multiple monsters. So you actually have to get rid of it and then play. But Santa Claus over the Kaiju's for this deck in particular because it's a level 6. So that way it's also a combo piece. And this was also I took it from the idea from the other guy that topped that regional. He sided this in, and you know what? That's like the only point I taken from his deck because it's a combo piece. Let's see here. And matchups, I guess I should talk about.
Yeah, what were your matchups today?
Oh man, I talk too much.
Matchups were win dice roll, win game. Lose
Yes,
dice roll,
that's
win
actually
game.
it. Holy shit.
Win dice roll, win game.
Yeah, and then lose dice roll. Pretend to win game, but you still win. Round 1, I faced against Minerva Turbo. I won the die roll, so I won game 1, and then I won game 3 because game 2 was irrelevant at that point. Round 2, I lost the dice roll, so he opens up with a fox, and then sets a Tempest, and I'm like, well, I can't play around the fox and the Tempest and another back row, so I just scooped game 1, and then I just game 2 I opened the nuts and I did it. Game 3 he only opened up Kieran, and I played around the Kieran, but I probably played around it wrong. And then after that I made S0 to skip his turn basically, so he couldn't do much except make Absolute Dragon to beat over my veteran. And then after that I faded out the Kieran again, and then I made the Absolute. So he had Kieran, Absolute Dragon, and a Fox or something. So he used Kieran to bounce the Fox in my other pressure play, which is M7 to bounce the Absolute Dragon to win the game. But then instead of that, I just made Beyond and then Lightning and won that. And in round 3, I played against Heroes and I 2-0'd him. He, I don't know, it was just, I went first. I won the die roll. Next round, I faced against Nurseburn. He won the die roll, but he didn't, luckily for me, at game 1, he didn't open up 3 trap cards with the Nurse Rificule to burn me for game. So I was just doing my library stuff, and he's like, yeah, he just scoops, and I'm like, I'm not even done yet, but okay. And then game 2, he opens up the 3 traps and the bad reaction, so I couldn't do much. I should have probably sided in Twin Twisters, but I sided in Hanko instead, and I just hope I can trick him. And in game 4, I just opened up S0 and he just scooped. So next round I played against nope, not this one. I played against Magic Spectre Odd Eyes. He got 2nd place, I'm pretty sure, and he won the die roll. So yeah, game 1 was bad, and in game 2 I bricked. That was the one game I bricked. I opened 1 Igknight for some reason, and it was just so weird. But I almost went on tilt. So yeah, next round I played against some guy playing PK Fire. He, let's see, I Pot of Desired and banished 2 of my rank up spells, so I had to play the healer game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then Kieran kind of helped me out with that, but then I still lost to Barbar. And then game 2, he maxied in the Flying Sea, so what can I do about that? And then that was 6, so 7 was against Metalfoes. Game 1, he opened Jowgen, and I just looked at my hand and I'm like, I can't do much. Scoop. Game 2, open combo, he looked at it and then like, yep, scoop. And then game 3, he opened Mediocre, so I Pendulum Summon, and then he didn't have the out to the Pendulum Summon, so I pressure, I try to bounce it, but he had Mind Over Matter to stop the M7, and then I just okay, push for game, and Gaga Samurai helped me got me there. And then after that I played against Chainburn for some reason, which was actually bad game 1 because he just he set 5. He went first. He won the die roll, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is Cosmo Demise, and I better Pendulum Summon soft and not hard. So I did only 3 monsters, and he didn't do anything. So I was like, swing, and then he Magic Cylindered, and I'm like, what is that, a tech card or something? And I'm like, okay, next one is Dimension Wall. So I was already 4 grand, and then after that he flipped a couple other burn cards and won. And I was like, okay. Game 2, I just showed game 2 and 3. I just showed him Deco Zexa, and it was game. So yeah.
Any shoutouts you want to give, bro?
Oh yeah, lots. Shoutouts to my friend David for letting me stay at his place and using a shower or whatever, because oh my god, the bus ride was so long. It was so long and painful. And shoutouts to all my friends that supported me back in Barrie, and all the people in Montreal that got me the stuff that I needed to make this deck. And people that playtested me online, shout out to them. Shout out to all the losers that I beat on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, because I don't know, it's RPS on YGO Pro, so I'm pretty good at that. What else is there? Shout outs to Pietro, and shout outs to Alexander St. Louis for getting me the stuff, and yeah, that's really it.
All right,
yeah, shout outs to Dolly's, right, because yeah, they're really cool people from Scarborough, yeah. And it's a cool store. Yeah, I go there sometimes.
All right, Hanko, congratulations on your top 8, and hope to see you soon in Montreal, all right, bro?
Yeah, sorry to make your video so long.
It's all good. Constructive criticism is excellent.
Yeah, all right. See ya.
Ciao.